Hello, students. This is Miss Cone here. I hope you're doing well today. Today, I'm going to give you some instructions on how to complete this evidence worksheet. I think this assignment is really almost doing too much for you. It's a 30-point assignment, and I have listed here 27 pieces of evidence that I found in the entire book. I'm certain there's more. And what I'm going to ask you to do is read the evidence in the first column, okay? In the second column, I'm going to have you logic and just put the number of the prompt you think that this evidence from the book could be used to support a yes or a no answer for this. And then in the third column, you're going to explain how this would support this prompt and how you would sort of use it if you were writing a paper to that prompt. Now, I realize some of this is like extra work for you because eventually you're only going to be writing to one of these prompts starting next week. But certainly this assignment can help you. You can pick the evidence from this that goes with the prompt you're writing to. And for the T-chart assignment that will be due this Friday, the 20th of November as well, along with this worksheet, you can pick the evidence that goes with your prompt number and put it on your T-chart. And so Ms. Cone is really helping you with two assignments here. Hint, hint. All right, so for instance, let me give you a few examples and walk you through some of this. Okay, so the first piece of evidence here says her cells were part of research into the genes that cause cancer and those that suppress it. They help develop drugs for treating herpes, leukemia, influenza, hemophilia, and Parkinson's disease. And this is on page 4. Note that I've put the page numbers, how you would cite it in your paper. In-text citations are always author's last name and page number, just to sort of model what it should look like if you were using that piece of evidence in your paper. Okay, so if her cells, Henrietta's cells, have done this much for science and medicine, I feel like perhaps they should have received financial compensation for Henrietta's cells. So this definitely goes with 1. You could probably also make the argument that it goes with 2. Yes, they've done this much for science. Shouldn't that give that her tissues, her cervical cancer cells, shouldn't she have some legal ownership to it? Okay, so I could use this evidence to support a yes answer to 1 or to prompt 1 or 2 by showing just how much Henrietta's cells have done for science and medicine. It just goes to show that perhaps she should have been compensated financially or should have had some legal rights to her tissues. Or in the case of her death, her family. All right. Look at number 2. Henrietta's tumor was the invasive type, and like hospital nationwide, Hopkins treated all invasive cervical carcinomas with radium. Hopkins had been using radium to treat cervical cancer since the early 1900s. By the 1940s, several studies, one of them conducted by Howard Jones, Henrietta's physicians, showed that radium was safer and more effective than surgery for treating invasive cervical cancer. But radium destroys cells it encounters, and patients who'd taken it for trivial problems began dying. Radium causes mutations that can turn into cancer. Okay, so this shows that while that radium, they eventually found that radium was dangerous. At Henrietta's time, it was used to treat cervical cancer just like everybody else. So to me, I feel like this goes with number 4 and show this piece of evidence could be used to support a no answer to question, a yes answer to question prompt 4. It shows that Henrietta was treated for her cancer just as anyone else would been treated for the same kind of cancer, thus showing she was treated fairly by the medical community in this case. Okay, cool. All right, on the flip side, but things weren't all good. Toward the end of her treatments, Henrietta asked her doctor when she'd be better so she could have another child. Until that moment, Henrietta didn't know that the treatments had left her infertile. Warning patients about fertility loss before cancer treatment was standard practice at Hopkins, and something Howard Jones said he and Lynn did with every patient. In this case, something went wrong. Looks like this piece of evidence would support the opposite answer to question 4. This piece of evidence could be used to support a no answer to prompt 4 because it shows that Henrietta was treated unfairly by her doctors. Her doctors should have told her that she was not going to be able to have children after the procedures. Therefore, she was not treated fairly. Now, some of these, I'm going to let you do the rest of them from 4 on, okay? So you have 23 more of these to do on your own. Some of them might be able to work with more than one prompt, just a heads up. But here, as long as you put the prompt number and an explanation of how you could use it to support a yes/no response to the prompt, you're going to be okay. Then, okay, if you go to, let me go to pages, let me go to your page. If you go to modules and go to your weekly page, which looks like this, if you recall your T-chart, okay, which you should already have in your drive and be working on, okay? Once you do this worksheet, you can steal some of the evidence that would support whichever prompt you're writing to from this worksheet and plop it into your T-chart if you're behind. Just something to think about. All right, so I hope that this has helped you understand this evidence worksheet, and I hope that this evidence worksheet helps you finish your T-chart and gives you some ideas for evidence for your prompts. Okay, keep in mind, for the final paper, you'll have to find 3 additional sources, and we'll talk about that next week in class and get you started on that plan for your paper, for your final argument paper. Please don't hesitate to shoot me an email or a student square message if you have any questions or need anything. I'm always happy to help. Thank you.